Hello there gang, and welcome to Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. And we're here to talk about the only news that matters. It's good news. For Tuesday, May 16th, we got a whole lot of stories to talk about. So let's talk about them. First of all, we're going to kick things off with action figures, just like we always do, heading on over to toyark.com, and they have got a sneaky peeky little preview of the McFarlane Toys Dark Knight Jokerized Batman, and he looks absolutely terrifying. Take a little look at this guy here. They're going to do what McFarlane always do. First of all, showing you a glamorized, highly produced photograph, and then a couple of days later, we're going to get the full proper reveal. But just having a look at this one here, we've seen 1,000,001 different Jokerized Batman in the past. However, a Frank Miller one just adds a little bit of extra kind of creepiness to it, because that's what Frank Miller's artwork kind of looks like. It's a little bit grotesque. So when you add a grotesque, thick, grizzled, gnarled, old, beefy, futuristic Batman on top of a grotesque Jokerized version, you got this thing that I'm looking at here, and, well, he looks pretty mean. I'll give him that much. Let me give you some details on him, because this is a gold label exclusive. They're pulling out all the stops with this. McFarlane Toys have shared a new teaser today for their DC Multiverse Dark Knight Returns Jokerized Batman Target exclusive gold label. Pre-orders launch on May 26th. No other details at the moment. Stay tuned. So yeah, if you want to add another Batman, I know, it's another McFarlane Batman, but hey, this is the way of the world. This is the way. So yeah, just, more Batman bang for your buck. But if you want a more unique, unusual character for your shelf, then don't worry, because Storm Collectibles have got you covered. This, I've never even played Samurai Showdown, but I love the look of the Samurai Showdown Earthquake figure by Storm Collectibles. Look at this guy. Earthquake 1/12 scale. It says a new preview photo has been shared by Storm Collectibles. It gives fans their first look at the upcoming Earthquake 1/12 scale figure from Samurai Showdown. Holy moly, he looks gigantic. This guy's going to be huge, I can only assume. And what the heck? Look at how big, chunky, chonky, and colourful he is. You know me, I'm a Street Fighter / Mortal Kombat guy. But I love the bright colourfulness of some of these action figures. And this guy, what a big beast. Is this in scale, this photo? Because that looks like a regular 6-inch Storm Collectibles Samurai Showdown action figure in the foreground. So if this guy is standing to scale in the background, he's going to be a giant, like a full-on monster ogre style figure. We're talking, I guess, kind of a Goro type size and scale and weight, so he's gonna be expensive. He's gonna be real expensive, but just look at that. For any of you hardcore Samurai Showdown players out there, this bud's for you, because this looks ginormous, but a lot of fun to be had with him. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my ear to the ground on that one, because as they say, no further details available at the moment, but man, he looks pretty. There's a lot going on there. We can move on now to the 3-0 Robo Duo Voltron Gallery. Now, we're going to go hard and heavy into the anime mechs here. And Voltron with the little kitty cats. This is a little part of my childhood, actually. I never played with these, but my friend had them. And I was like, what are these things? They're so freaking cool. So, quick look to their upcoming release, 3-0 Robo Duo Voltron. They're available over at Entertainment Earth. So let's see what Entertainment Earth are charging for these guys. $299. That ain't cheap. That's a lot of cash, but you get a lot of action figure for your money. Let's take a little look at these guys here, shall we? So the full combined image, I mean, that's beautiful, isn't it? That's really, really stunning. But the question is, of course, what's the size and scale as well? That's what I want to see and find out, because these look like a stunning, stunning display piece that you're going to have. But for $300, I want something that's going to be kind of Hot Toys kind of size. I was going to say 1/6 scale, but obviously that's not the case, because this is a gigantic kaiju-sized mech. 1/6 scale would be a bit impractical for your shelf. However, does it give at least a figure, 11 inches tall? there you go. So 11 inches tall. So a good, big, decent size, which is about that Hot Toy scale. And you can see with the different pieces that he comes in, yeah, each part, as you kind of can imagine, like a Power Rangers Zoids kind of thing, they are all individual animals that could be pieced together, Transformers Combiners style. Man, it's kind of pretty, isn't it? I do like the look of that. I mean, so for $300, I will continue to simply like the look of it. But yeah, that looks really cool. For all you old school Voltron fans, this one's going to tickle your potatoes. That's a new one. But yeah, he looks pretty cool. Keep your eyes peeled and posted for that. Going to be available, when is it available on Entertainment Earth? Pre-orders available coming in May. Wait, really? All right. Well, coming soon then. You're not going to have to wait long to part with your money. Some things that you might have to wait a little bit longer for, though, are the weirdest from Super 7. I feel like I'm talking about these guys on every show, but it's the amount of time that they, take to release these. Like, every single day there's a new update. I'm not even that fussed about them, but if you want the weird, quirky, creepy, bizarre Super 7 characters, well, there you go. You can see them in full three-dimensional plastic form now. Not my cup of tea. Even though I've been talking about them on a daily basis, but sometimes that's what you got to do for content. You got to look a little outside the box, and you got to look into boxes that you might not want to have on your shelf. But some folks do, and there's nothing wrong with them. It's just I don't need them in my collection. Again, they're 3.75-inch scale, not much articulation, but that's not what it's about. It's about having them in their boxes, just kind of displayed like that, I would imagine. And off. All right, you just won me over there. Well done. It glow in the dark and translucent stuff. It's always gonna tickle me. It's gonna make me think, you know what? There is a certain Camp Kitsch fun value to that. So, all right, I kind of like what they're doing with the glow in the dark, with the designs and whatnot. You got this weird barbarian guy that you can clearly pull the limbs off of, and it's just fun. It's a fun bit of creativity, but it's not anything that I need in my collection. You can stick the swords through them and stuff. Okay, I give points for creativity, and that goes a long way. And then you got the little trash man as well. And is there anything else you can do with him? Does he have a gimmick as such? I don't think so, but nonetheless, that's kind of fun. So these guys are going to be available. Are they going to be up for pre-order sometime soon? What's the detail? What's the gist on these? Shown below, the new weirdest Wave 1 reactions up for order from Super 7, retailing for $20 each. So there you go. That's a little bit of fun to be had there. Something that's a bit more intense. We got the Hell Witch 1/6 scale figure, and now this is Hot Toy style, with a Hot Toy style price of $364. But going to be available the third quarter of this year. And let's just take a look at some of the pictures, shall we? Because that's what we got to be here for. And the Hell Witch, man, there's a whole lot of witch here. I'll say that. And it looks like one of those kind of seamless bodies. I'm trying to think if there's any articulation points. Not that I can see. So that's something going for it. That's going to be interesting to see how that will work and flex and pose. I mean, certainly these poses here, they're getting her in different sort of positions and styles and looks. So there's a lot to be said for that. I think these jointless bodies, they seem to be getting better. Thank you, Big Bad Toy Store, for doing the editing for me there. There you go. This is still a family-friendly channel. We've got pixelated boobs. So yeah, there you go. You get a whole lot of action figure for your money here with the Hell Witch. And yeah, that looks like a bit of fun. If you want a 1/6 scale Hell Witch figure, I mean, does look kind of cool. Again, it's one of those pieces where, yeah, of course you'd like to have it on display, but you might just put it in the cupboard when you have company over, because it's like, I don't want to have to explain this to nobody. Something that needs no explanation, though, is horrifying Santa Claus monsters. That's a whole subgenre in and of itself now, isn't it? Horrifying Santa Claus monsters. And Fury Toys are getting in on the game as well. I previewed these a little while ago, and now they've got some full reveals of their Kraden and Krynn action figures. These retail, you can buy them both together for a combo price of $89.99. or they're $46.99 each. So it's pretty much the same price regardless. There's not a big discount for buying one or two. But you can take a look. The amount of, again, creativity, detail that has gone into these guys, they're super fun. For me, honestly, I don't know, I'm a bit of a wuss. Sometimes I'm like, I like big scary monsters, but when you've got these rows after rows of jaws and teeth, like it's a little too gnarly. It's a little too gnarly and a little bit too creepy for me. But I do love the design of this, how he's got his Santa Claus beard that covers up all of his jaws there. So you could have him sort of in disguise. Not that it's a particularly warm and cuddly disguise. I still wouldn't want to sit on this guy's knee. But then, yeah, he's got the Christmas present there as well, but also the Freddy Krueger style claws. So he's looking pretty menacing regardless. But the amount of, again, work, detail, attention, effort that has gone into this, oh man. I like my Father Christmas to be a cuddly Father Christmas. If you want to have a scary Christmas figure, then you got your Krampus. That's what you want to go for. Stop destroying the sanctity of Father Christmas. Alright, I'm just a big kid. You know me, I love Christmas. That's why I put so much effort into the Christmas specials, because that's my favourite holiday. And so don't ruin it with this nightmare fuel, alright, Fury Toys? Nonetheless, if you want to get in on this, you can go over to 5K Toys and place down your pre-orders for one or both of these terrifying looking guys. He's got a bear trap hand. Man, that's grim and gruesome and gnarly. I love the creativity. Alright, I'll say that much. And of course, you can remove the arms, so you can remove the jacket as well to have the different looks. That's great. That's something that needs to be incorporated more in action figures, because I love the ability to do that. But these are really cool. Just looking at these different pictures, yeah. Stop ruining Christmas. But also, thank you for making wicked action figures. Speaking of wicked action figures, we've got a friend of the show, Kozen, pointed me in the direction of the Joy Toy Frontline Chaos 1/12 scale figures, which are Japanese schoolgirls with military gear. It's like peanut butter and jelly, isn't it? Two great tastes that taste great together. I'm not tasting Japanese schoolgirls. That sounds weird. Let me just backtrack. No, you know what? We're here now. Let's look at the pictures. So there's Xena, Dora, and Amy. And yeah, it's exactly like it sounds. 1/12 scale, so, you know, your Marvel Legends scale. $100 each. So, whew, holy moly. But Frontline Chaos Xena. I don't want to know what dystopian world we're living in, where Japanese schoolgirls are forced to bring heavy munitions into the classroom, but here we are. And look, it's weird and kitsch and unusual and kind of cool. And if that's what you want on your shelf, boom. I dig it. More power to you. That's very appropriate. Pakow! Bam! Is that the noise guns make? I don't know. Pakow! So yeah, these are kind of weird and quirky. More of a little offshoot curiosity than your typical action figure content, but what the heck. You can go check them out at, what is it? Joy Toy. There you are. So, wrapping up with something a bit more mainstream, we got some Star Wars. Disney have unveiled their Star Wars Droid Pride Factory Pride Collection multi-pack set. Now look, this is fun. So it's the droids in the color of the Pride flags, which is lovely and cool and awesome, but also it always feels, whenever a company does Pride related stuff, it always feels a bit like, yeah, good for you for making money. Yeah, it does often feel like, okay, you're embracing these things, which is nice, but also, you know, it's because there's a profit to be had. You know, why would you not want to reach out and get that rainbow dollar? So, you know, I can see the commercialism behind it. It's a product like anything else, but still, I always like representation and stuff like that. And as a set, it actually is really like, I can see this on my shelf just brightening up my shelf. I mean, I love having the bright kind of, you know, flashing lights and rainbow colors behind me just to brighten everything up. And this set of rainbow droids, I kind of like it, actually. I gotta say, that's a little bit fun. Damn it, Disney! getting my rainbow dollar from me. Sons of biscuits. Does it say what they're charging for them? Let me read what the details are here. Kicking off Pride celebration early with a set of collectibles, bright colors, other Droid Factory releases. $74.99? How much money do you think the gays have? Available for purchase right now on Disney's online shop. Yeah, pass. I don't need a bunch of rainbow-colored droids that much. All right, and finally, finishing off the toy news with our beloved Marvel Legends. Danyan, over on Twitter, the main man of Marvel Legends, has shown off some pictures of the Mark I Iron Man and the Hawkeye Sky Cycle, but that's not the story. You know how sneaky this gentleman is. He just happens to have accidentally caught a little snapshot of the Defenders box set above them. This is a box set that came out several years ago, but clearly he loves to drop his little hints. So this is a subtle little hint that we're probably going to be seeing some Defenders figures being announced quite soon, because there were rumors in the rectangular releases that there was going to be a full-on Marvel Knights wave coming out. Obviously, that's not confirmed yet, but it looks to be the case. So if you're looking out, we've already seen the preview of Luke Cage. So maybe we're going to get Iron Fist, maybe another Jessica Jones or Misty Knight, Colleen Wing. We don't know. But it seems like it's an exciting time to speculate about what Marvel Legends might have in store. And that's why I love Marvel Legends, because even though I gripe and moan and bellyache about them a lot, they still, it's so fun to speculate and see what they're doing and where they might be going. So stay tuned for that. There could be some fun things coming down the pipeline. And when they are announced, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be here to moan about them. And maybe give some nice compliments as well. We'll see. Now, going over to movies and TV, this is just quite nice. The Masters of the Universe Revelations Netflix show, you know, the animated He-Man show that everyone loved and no one had a problem with whatsoever. They are recording and filming their next season, and Meg Foster, who played Evelyn in the live-action Dolph Lundgren Masters of the Universe show, has been cast in Masters of the Universe Revolution, playing, what's her name? Mainframe, I think it's called. Mattel Inc. announced Meg Foster, blah, blah, blah. Revolution launched globally, returns to Eternia. Foster joins the formidable force against the Masters, focused on plunging Eternia into imminent darkness, acting as Hordak's liaison on Eternia, Motherboard. That's it. So at the end of the first season, we got the hint and reveal of Hordak and, you know, the new big bad, and she's coming back to play his partner in crime. I guess I don't know the whole mythology around this, but either way, she's coming back to play Motherboard, and that's a nice little connection. I love bringing back past people in different roles and just showing some fun and reverence for what came before. I like it. I dig it. I think that's really sweet. So, you know what? I really enjoyed Revelations. I know folks didn't. And I know it was a bait and switch, which I think is grubby and really was just done to court controversy, I think. But once you got past the bait and switch, I think there was actually a lot of fun to be had there. So I'm looking forward to season 2. Going on over now, DC is looking forward as well. They have shown a little preview of their upcoming DC Dawn of DC Primer 2023, which is all about the machinations of Amanda Waller. And Amanda Waller, ever since Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, you know, she has been positioned as like the big sort of the straw that stirs the drink in the DC universe, so to speak. From my understanding, you'll know I'm not a DC expert, but it seems that she is doing what she always tends to do, which is assembling a whole bunch of ne'er-do-wells to do her bidding and essentially kind of police and control the DC universe, because she's that cynical, antagonistic person who is like, look, the world's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's not a rainbow in sight. So she's like Superman and Green Lantern. They're going to put smiles on people's faces, but they're not going to do what needs to be done to protect this planet that we call home. So for that, she gets down and dirty and grubby with the bad folks, and that includes guys like Peacemaker, who is now, he's a DC franchise. Man, John Cena just took that character and made it his own, and now he's kind of, yeah, I would say he's kind of an A-list player for DC. So we got a lot of focus around him and other nefarious characters in the DC universe. And the more I see previews and hints as to what's going on in DC, the more I'm like, you know, I really got to start to get on board with DC Comics and actually read these on the regular. And you know what? I might have to start doing that because it seems like there's some fun to be had. Speaking of fun to be had, you know what would be fun for Batman? Would be if he finally just straight up murked the Joker. Because people always ask that, myself included. It's like every single time Batman captures the Joker, what does that mean? It means that he's going to escape and kill more people. Why doesn't he just kill the Joker? Well, it's nice that this has been addressed. It's been addressed at different times, but it's been addressed again recently in Batman 135. And in that, I like the angle they've taken with this. Batman is going on like a little multiversal adventure, going to all these different realities, seeing all these different Batmen. And what he's discovered is that in the realities where the Joker does get killed, whether Batman kills him or he gets offed by some other means, the basic level of murder, death, insanity, and chaos in that universe is still the same. Joker being removed hasn't actually changed anything, because it seems like nature abhors a vacuum, which is an expression that I always quite like. It's quite pertinent, I think. If you remove one evil element, then something else is going to just come and fill that void. So it's not like Joker is bringing more madness and chaos into the world. He is just the one who is providing it, since he is the one who is there. And that's kind of interesting. So I kind of like that idea that Batman has seen an example of this, and he can kind of accept the fact that, yeah, even if he did murder the Joker, there would just be another thing that would take that place, and it wouldn't make the world any better or worse concordingly. I kind of dig that. So kudos to DC for once again just fleshing out that little argument. I kind of like that they did it. Over in merchandise now. This is one that's just kind of fun and quirky, I wanted to point out. Monopoly, the game company that makes a game version for everything, has done RuPaul's Drag Race. And I was never a RuPaul's Drag Race type person. Someone once said, pro wrestling is drag for guys, or for straight guys. And I'm like, oh damn, you kind of got me there. Yeah. I think pro wrestling is drag for straight guys. And so maybe that's where I get my fix of glamour and glitter and sparklers and sequins and choreographed violence. Less of that on RuPaul's Drag Race. Nonetheless, if you want to get the Monopoly version, then you can do. You can sashay away. That's something they say there, isn't it? For $45, and it will be released at a later date. That's all they've got said there. But yeah, that's kind of fun. RuPaul's Drag Race. Monopoly, the company that can make a version for just about everything. Now, going on over to video games, more rumors about Mortal Kombat 12. This has got me excited, man. It really, really has. Following a release from Mortal Kombat co-creator Ed Boon, rumors around Mortal Kombat 12 have already started circulating. Days ago, Boon posted a short video with a ticking clock, yep, we know about that. Today, which was yesterday, another Twitter account associated with previous PSN links alleges that the next grisly fighter is titled Mortal Kombat 1, making that 1 in Boon's video seem a little more significant. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to get another kind of reboot, which actually, honestly, I'm fine for, because I love nostalgia. I love going back and being reminded about how awesome the 90s were. And that's pretty much how the last Mortal Kombat game left it, with Liu Kang being the god of time and essentially saying he's going to rewrite history and kind of reset things and make things good again. And Mortal Kombat has been good for the last, 2 decades or so. Mortal Kombat's always great. You gotta love it. It's like pizza. Even when it's like not the best, it's still good. So they've got some information here, like different download packs and prices and what kind of formats things are going to be in. And also, there have been some big hints and rumors about what some of the DLC characters might be already. We might be putting the cart before the horse here, but there are 2 big ones people have been talking about, and that is Peacemaker. So again, John Cena's Peacemaker being pushed to the forefront, and that makes perfect sense because it's Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers owns these licenses and properties. Why the heck not? And Peacemaker, he would fit perfectly in Mortal Kombat. And the other one that's being heavily rumored is Homelander from The Boys. And again, Homelander is arguably a little bit OP for some of the characters in Mortal Kombat who are just kind of human. But then again, it doesn't matter. It all just comes out in the wash. It's fine. It's like when we had Mortal Kombat versus DC, and you had characters like Superman and Joker fighting each other, and it's like, that shouldn't work. And they just give a little workaround. It's like, oh, no. They've had this thing that like evens all the powers out. I'll take it. Just for the fun of the game. I ain't going to look too deeply into it, but that's going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of fun, man, I can't wait for Mortal Kombat to come out. But in the meantime, we can get excited about Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. Now this is as old school as some games get, because if you were a fan of Quake and Doom in the late 90s, then this Warhammer 40,000 game looks like it's just focusing on all of that. So it's a first-person shooter set in the Warhammer 40k universe, and the aesthetics and the style are straight out of like Quake and Quake 2, those old sort of pixely, three-dimensional, early first-person shooter games, and I love it. And they're leaning in hard with it. It feels like it's going for a Broforce kind of vibe, where they know that this is kitsch, camp, and ridiculous, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm not hugely into Warhammer, but I love the mythology of it, and the crazy deep lore and the concepts, and also just the creature designs and everything. Super, super awesome. So this, the more I see of this trailer, the more I'm tempted to dive into it, because I think, especially because it's going to be on Switch as well, I could pick this up, and this is something that I would play at work, in between shows, in the green room, just kind of hanging out. It looks like something you can just dive into and have a bit of fun, just ripping some heads off monsters and stuff, and then go about your day. So yeah, I'm going to watch this one very, very closely. I don't know if we have a release date for it yet. I might have to skip forward to the end of that video just to see. May 23rd. The game is set to be released on May 23rd. Whew, for PC and all 3 major consoles. You know what? I think it's going to have to wait a while, because right now, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is kind of dominating my world. So once I'm done with that, then maybe Warhammer Bolt Gun might be one to consider. But also, as a completely different change of pace for gaming, we've got, here we go, it's called Decarnation, which arrives on May 31st. And as this article from Bloody Disgusting says, it features music from Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka. And first of all, I just love this initial art style. It's very, very Japanese graphic novel, horror, very Junji Ito kind of thing. And the gist with this game is that it's set, they say, in Paris in 1990. Gloria is at the end of her rope, a struggling cabaret dancer dealing with the fraying of her relationship's career and self-esteem. She takes on a new artistic endeavor sponsored by a mysterious benefactor. Would the generous proposal be Gloria's lucky break? Or something even worse? Or just worse, because the lucky break is a good thing. So this game apparently incorporates all these different types of gameplay, depending on what part of the story you're in. Inspired by 2D adventure horror games and cult movies from the likes of David Lynch and mangas from Junji Ito, Decarnation is a story-driven horror game featuring a mix of more than 15 different types of gameplay, each adapted to the main character's situation and state of mind. I love me a bit of psychological horror. I got a lot of time for this. I'm going to have to check this out. I'll see the reviews first. I'll shop carefully, but it's got my attention. I'll say that much. It really has my attention. Something else that has my attention. Oh, I just saw YouTube was recommending my own video to me at the end there. Thanks, YouTube, but I don't need you to recommend my videos to me. I made them. I know how good they are. Start recommending them to other people. For goodness sakes, YouTube. I'm trying to run a business here. It's not going well, but I have fun doing it, so we keep on keeping on. Extraction 2, going over to movies. Holy moly. I enjoyed the first Extraction, but I felt like it could be more. And then I saw the trailer for Extraction 2 and I was like, yep, it's more. And it looks so good. I get so excited. And now Extraction 2 apparently has a 21-minute one-take action scene, which sounds insane. And I can't wait to see it. John Wick has kind of raised the bar for some Western action type movies. I mean, I know that, Eastern martial arts films have been doing these kinds of insane things for years, but now with modern movie making practices and styles and techniques being married with incredible stunt work and choreography, oh my goodness. I find it hard to believe that they would have a full 21-minute, no cuts action scene. I don't think that's practical to do. Maybe it's part of that kind of, it's shot to look like there are no cuts, but there are cuts in there because it would just make sense. But I'm just so excited to see this movie. It looks like it's going to be so good. As revealed by this Instagram post by the Russo brothers, who, by the way, directed Infinity War and Endgame, the trailer for the sequel debuts tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to look forward to that. And they also noted in sharing a bunch of posters of the film that all these posters were from the same 21-minute long one-er. It was from the same one-er. Okay, like one-er shot. One-er. Is that a new word? Do people say that? A one-er? Are we going to film a one-er? Get out of here. Although technically this episode of Good News is a one-er. One shot. No edits. One take Jake right here. So there you go. A 21-minute action scene. I'm sure that there are edits in there and it's just, it's filmed to look that way, and I'm going to be on board for it. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Very, very excited for that. Speaking of excited, DC Universe is coming back on the big screen in a big way with James Gunn. Is it going to be good? Who knows? But we might have this guy right here playing Superman. The runner-up for the Batman is now a front-runner to play Superman. The actor in question is Nicholas Hoult, who apparently was within a gnat's wing of playing Batman that Robert Pattinson eventually got for the Batman movie. But is he going to be the next Superman? Well, quite possibly. By the sounds of things, rumors and scuttlebutt going round. I never want to judge someone until I see them in the role, because you just don't know. I feel like I'd like a bit more of a square-jawed kind of Superman. It's very difficult, because a lot of people loved Henry Cavill, myself included. I thought he was perfect. But also, I get it. If you want to go for a young Superman, then Henry Cavill it's about my age. That ain't young. I mean, it's middle-aged and dashingly handsome, but not young. So if you want to go in a younger direction, it makes sense to recast. And, I've got faith. And you gotta have faith. Gotta have faith. I gotta have faith that James Gunn knows what he's doing. He's proved that over the last few years. So, holding out hope. If this is our Superman, then bring it on. Let's see what he does. Over in comics now. This summer is the summer of the symbiotes, and Marvel are going ham, hard, and heavy with it. And honestly, I want it to be over. I'm done. As soon as I saw the word verse, I was like, ugh. It's called Death of the Venom-verse. So can we cut out the Venom and just have Death of the Verses? Because I'm so done. I'm done with these multiverse. Don't get me wrong. Spider-Verse, Miles Morales on the big screen, the movie, I've got time for that. That's been years in the making. Bring it on. I'm looking forward to that. But in Marvel, can we please, it's done. It's done. It's over. I would say stop trying to make verses a thing, but it was a thing. And it was fun for a while. And now the problem with all these different verse stories, where it's different versions from different realities, guess what? None of it actually matters. There's no consequences, because you can just bring in a new character, they look cool, it's a fun concept, and you can kill them off or shut them back to their reality, and it's like, thanks for coming. That was it. I mean, look at this character on here with the Predator dreads going on there. They look pretty awesome. I'm sure we're going to see them for one issue, and then they'll just disappear again. And I'm just kind of done. I'm tired. I've got verse fatigue. That's what it is. It's verse fatigue. I gotta say, I do quite like this cover though, because it's clearly a homage from Venom Carnage Unleashed, which was a garbage. A garbage miniseries from the mid-90s where it was Venom versus Carnage and what we thought would be the internet in the mid-90s. It was a wild ride. It really was. But yeah, and it looks like Null is possibly back as well. Venom versus Null, or Carnage versus Null. I don't know. It just feels like oversaturation at its worst. I'm ready for maybe, for stories to become a little bit smaller. Maybe we don't need huge big stories. We need smaller stories, such as the Daredevil comics, which have been pretty well received for the last few years. But the current run is coming to an end. So Marvel ends Daredevil with issue number 14 in August, but a new number 1 in September. So Chip Zdarsky, sounds about right. I've never heard it said by anyone, so I'm going to go with Zdarsky. He's going to be leaving his highly regarded run on Daredevil, going over to do Batman at DC through 2025, and we don't know who is picking up the pen after him. So it says here, he's seen some upcoming outlines. Let me just see, unless it does say. He always knew that there was an ending in mind, so he's been working with them. Daredevil, but would be... Chip talked about his Daredevil run coming to an end, and that he knows who will be taking over the series, and that we will not be disappointed. Okay, so I was worried that I got that wrong there. But no, we don't know who's taking over the series, apparently. But I love the fact that apparently he did actually have an ending in mind. This was all planned, set up, so he could conclude the story the way he wanted to, which is not something we actually get all the time. So fair play to him. I hope that this Daredevil makes a lot of people happy with how it wraps up, and he can continue this kind of renaissance I feel he's been enjoying over the next few months. Good for you. Good for you. Less good for you is Frank Miller's art style that has been getting a lot of criticism and critiques from people, but also defense as well. Frank Miller, never short of controversy, and also he's been around since the dawn of time, it feels like, in comic books. Obviously most famous for The Dark Knight Returns, his stuff on Batman Year One, Wolverine, Daredevil. I shouldn't have even started listing things because there's just too much. But Marvel have been getting him to do some covers, and his most recent one of Wolverine has had a lot of people going like, "Hooah! What happened to Frank Miller?" Because, I mean, yeah, it's interesting to watch artists' styles evolve over time. And you can see some of these different covers that he has done recently, like, some of them are great. And some of them, like, it's entirely up to you what you reckon. If you like the look of these, if you don't, it comes down to personal style and preference. Some of them I think look kind of terrible. I think, like, that Blade, I think that's not a good-looking picture. However, this Spider-Man, I kind of like it. I like the highly stylized look. That's one thing I always give Frank Miller credit for, is when you see Frank Miller pencils, you know that's Frank Miller. But a lot of people are also just like, mate, state of your pencils. Like, what happened? Because this, if you can believe it, this was Frank Miller in the 80s. Or even like, was it 70s or 80s? It was a long time ago. But yeah, so a lot of people have been chiming in and giving their thoughts and feedback, because, yeah, that's not a good looking Wolverine. Unless you think it is, because my goodness, art is subjective. And I don't know I know that it's art, but some people love it. They really, really do. I mean, this Wonder Woman here, it's highly stylized, but people dig it. Not everyone, but a lot of people do. So it's just nice to see the debate. It's always interesting and fascinating. Lord knows I'm not an artist. So, I can critique, but I can't create. Boy, wow, that kind of sums up the Model Behaviour channel, doesn't it? A little bit too introspective there. And finally, going over to Cosplay Corner, I'm going to highlight Sir Zayden. Sir_Zayden. That's his name. Why? Because a good, close personal, long-time friend of the show said, "Hey, Dave, I love the show, but you only ever feature female cosplayers." And I'm like, yeah, it's because you got to give the people what they want. But you know what? Not everyone is clamoring for female cosplayers. In fact, some folks were like, let's see a little bit more representation over here. And you know what? Someone doing obscure Mortal Kombat representation, yeah, that works for me. This dude's got a badass Mortal Kombat smoke ninja character design. He's got some more mainstream ones like Wolverine, of course. Then you got his Kano too. The dude is quite prolific, makes some cool badass stuff, plus got some nice behind the scenes shots as well, so you can see how he makes his... Oh, and he's got a dog. Alright, there you go. That's as good a reason to focus on this gentleman creator as any. Shows pictures of his dog. That's just adorable. And also it seems like his wife or fiance is a cosplayer as well, so that's just sweet. Couples who cosplay together stay together. That's how the old saying goes. And yeah, and also it's nice that he's only got 1,131 followers at the moment. So go jack that up. And also, like, that actually that sounded like a backhanded sort of like compliment. It's like, oh, he's only got 1,000. No, I didn't mean it like that. You know how I meant it. I'm not a salty like that. Yeah, so go and like jack up his follower count, because yeah, looks like he deserves it. He's kind of killing the game. Good for him. And folks, that does it for good news for today. What did you think about the stories covered? Comment below. Let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. If you want to support the channel a bit further, then you can do. You can go on over to patreon.com, toss a couple of bucks my way, and you can enjoy all the exclusive videos on there and just sleep a little more comfy at night, knowing that you're helping some guy over here in Japan put out YouTube videos. What more satisfaction could you possibly want? So gang, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Cup of coffee. Big time coffee.